My name is Rachel Coffey and I'm an artistic director and theatre producer. A day in the life of a theatre producer is quite busy, but extremely enjoyable. It would range from being in rehearsals with the cast, having production meetings with crew, collaborating with different creatives. You might be meeting with a sound person, a lighting person, costumes, so it's really just incorporating all of those elements together and creatively guide the production. The best thing about my job is the people. You collaborate with so many different people who have so many different experiences, and it really is a learning process for me as well. If you're working in theatre, you could expect something different every day. If you're doing a show, sometimes there's routine, sometimes there isn't. So it's a lot of just getting used to working in different environments, which can be extremely.
If films didn't have directors and instead each department made their own creative decisions, then you'd end up with something more like a sloppy collage instead of a polished painting. However, much like a producer, the exact role of the director can be different depending on the film and the director themselves. Some directors might want to be super hands-on, while others might be more hands-off. In some situations, the studio might have a lot of say in creative decisions, while on indie sets, the director might have total creative freedom.
We tell stories, first and foremost. We dream our stories. We tell stories about what it means to be here now. We also tell stories of the past. A typical day for a playwright is to read a lot. I sit at a desk and I don't type first, I write long form. So I still sort of feel like what I'm doing is writing essays. But in my essays, people are talking. There's a lot of dialogue. Well, I think in order to be a really good playwright, I think you have to be very interested. So you have to ask a lot of questions. I think you have to want to know things about people, how people express themselves, and how people talk. A playwright also technically has to be in love with language, and I think he has to learn a lot of language. So I sit with a dictionary and I sit with the thesaurus, writing journals. I used to write the stories of just growing up in downtown LA. My skill set really came out of journaling, and I journaled like every day for years.
Hi, I'm Wendy, and I'm the set designer for the theatre show Emile and the Detectives. We're just going to have a little talk about the elements that are used when designing a set. The element of scale in theatre design is such a great tool. One of the things that we have to face as a designer is suddenly we're meant to have the whole city on the stage, and how do we do that? And scale can help us. In this show we use a very small version of a city, but then we can cast shadows and make those shadows enormous. So from a very small thing we end up with a large thing. What's really great is that we can go back to the creative development and see an idea. And then we can see the real thing here. And what's really exciting is that some of the images of the city in the show are the ones that the children have made in the foyer before they come in. And then they get to see their work on stage. In this piece, we can see that the lighting and the set design had to work together, because here we have a lighting source that creates a shadow. We see the people getting on the tram, and then we see Emile interacting with the shadows. So the relationship between light and set was really critical for this work.
This might have a little more pizzazz.
My name is Emilio Sosa, and I am a costume designer. A costume designer is responsible for the look of the show, and that incorporates everything from the hair, shoes, makeup, and clothing that the actor wears throughout the show. There's no typical day in the life of a costume designer because every day is different depending on what you're doing. Some days are fitting days, which is when we are fitting the actors into clothing. Some days are shopping days when I'm shopping for the clothing, and some days are just research days. As a costume designer, I do not work alone. I have an assistant. Then we have our tailors, you have sewers, you have artisans. And that was the show that brought me here to Center Theater Group for the first time many, many years ago. I've been fortunate because I love coming here. I did Porgy and Bess, Immediate Family, Father Comes Home from the War, Part 1, 2, and 3, and now Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So I will always say, go to school, learn how clothing is made, and then go into the business. Because at the end of the day, you're making clothing for people.
The short version of the history of lighting design is that the greatest lighting designer, I guess, is nature, Mother Nature, or whoever you want to call it, because it was all done in the outside by sunlight, and then it was all done by firelight. And then as we started to move indoors after Shakespeare's time, then we were able to start to control the light. On Broadway, when it started, there was no credit for a lighting designer. The set designer did it with the electrician. As the years went on, it became its own profession. And for many years, actually, it was a profession that was really sort of dominated by women. There was somebody called Jean Rosenthal who really changed lighting in the sense that she figured out a way to do paperwork so that lighting could be repeated over and over again, because how do you record lighting? So Jean Rosenthal is sort of the grandmother of us all.
So the mechanics and the creativity as well.
Art has to drive the technical. We have to use all this technology as tools for what our vision is.
Stand inside of that light and make it feel like the rain is pouring against you. Yeah, and I like what you did when you did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
okay, and go for it. Start running. And hit it.
oh, now move forward and go stage right a little bit. You're going against the wind. It pushes you back stage left. Oh my God. But your daughter is waiting for you, but the wind pushes you back away from her. So far back stage left. You're never gonna see her again. Never gonna see her. Now go get her, get her, get her stage right. Go, go, go. Nice.
Fantastic.
Hey there.
Hey, Brian.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Come on in, I'll show you around.
Great.
My name's Anna Hill. I'm a project manager in Vancouver, BC. As a production manager for the film company, I'm basically in charge of every job that comes into this building from beginning to end throughout the pre-production, production, and post-production process. A couple days before the shoot, we'll have things called the pre-production meeting, which will be with the client. They send us a pitch, basically. This is what we're going for. This is what we'd like to get made.
Wow.
So this is stage 6. This is our indoor production area. So this is where we do most of our productions when we're going to do them inside. And so my job is to make sure that whenever we're shooting indoors for our clients, that we're able to turn this blank slate into any requests that they have. Office space. One time we made an indoor forest for Arc'teryx.
You fit a whole forest in?
We did fit a forest in here. One of the nice things about production manager is there isn't always a typical day, because it really depends on what your projects are at the time. We usually work on about 16 projects at the same time, and I'm in every stage of those projects. First thing I do every morning is check the emails, because you probably have a million from clients. And then I do this thing called the daily update, basically the snapshot of what needs to get done by each person in this building. And then it's all the things that are coming up this week. Hey, we're filming this day at this time. By the end of the day, I'm making sure that everything that we have promised that day is going to go out to clients or is going to be done is done.
Today, technical directors are definitely needed. We're kind of a hot commodity right now.
Go, Jason. Music. And send them in. Go get them.
Anything that's coming from my switcher is going out to the public. I'm Liesl Covert, and I'm a technical director at NBC. Welcome to NBCU Academy. A technical director role described is like driving a car. The director is your navigation system.
Roll 95, track is on.
He's telling you where to go and what the path is, and you're kind of driving the car. Wherever you turn is where the show is going. A producer will come up with the idea, and then they talk to the director. The director then comes up, okay, we could do this creatively, we could do that. The director comes to the technical director, and I execute that with other elements of our technical team, like graphics and audio and video and lighting, and we're all executing it through a switchboard that's going out to the public. Kind of the last line of defense in some ways. So whatever comes from our switchboard, everything added in between is what the viewer sees.
What they want. Sometimes it's very specific. Sometimes it's come in and create a 2-minute dance that's for this one scene that is set to this music that's about love or about anger or about, you know, transgression or whatever the theme is. Sometimes it's a lot more abstract, where you're sort of coming in and you watch rehearsal, and then there will be inspirations or moments of movement, and then I'll come in and I'll say, okay, let's do this or let's do that.
If you like, I don't mind breaking the fourth wall. Yeah.
I came into choreography kind of by accident. I was teaching a movement class for actors, and a director took my class just because she was interested in that. And she came up to me after class one day and she said, will you choreograph my show? And I said, I've never choreographed before, and if I did, it wouldn't be the Broadway style choreography. It would be weird. And she said, that's what I want. So I nervously choreographed her show, and I was nominated for an Ovation Award here in LA. After that, the doors just kind of opened, and it just really started to take off from there. I'm a big proponent and advocate of people going to school to train for the arts. It is a craft, after all. I didn't look right, I didn't dress right, I didn't know the right people, so I had to create my own reality. And I'm going to go out and try and find my people that want to see what I'm making. And the internet has made that possible, not just for me, but for you guys too.
That's in backstage at the theater. Makeup artists use cosmetics and prosthetics to enhance performers' appearance and evoke the unique character of different roles. Makeup artists develop a design for a character's look based on the time period, setting, and story. They consult with directors, lighting staff, performers, and others to identify the right effect while keeping within budget constraints. Technical skills and an understanding of different materials are critical in this field. Makeup artists may use artificial hair and create plastic or rubber features to fit over a performer's face or body part to show scarring, aging, and other changes. Makeup artists may also work for cosmetic companies, department stores, and for special events such as weddings to create a special look for clients and teach them how to replicate the look. Freelance makeup artists usually have flexible schedules and may need to travel to different locations for events or photo shoots. In this creative profession, makeup artists often express themselves through their own dress and appearance.
Ang tanghalang ito, atin ngayong gabi, walang makakapigil, hindi tayo titigil, hanggang puno na ang gabi ng ating gala.
Sino siya?
Si Calao Maximo, pinuno ng ROTC dahil anak ni General.
Hindi, ang maamong babae sa tabi niya.
Ah, siya ba?
Magkasintahan ba sila?
Sa panaginip lang ni Maximo.
Siya'y anghel! Ika'y anghel! Anghel, ano ang iyong pangalan?
Mag-ingat ka, pinsan.
Ako si Christian.
Tumahis ka, Roxanne. Roxanne ang kanyang pangalan.
Roxanne! Roxanne!
Huwag akong lisani.